Prosecutors consider dropping second-degree manslaughter charge in Daniel Penny trial amid deadlocked jury. Prosecutors in the trial of Daniel Penny moved to dismiss the second-degree manslaughter charge on Friday after a Manhattan jury reported being deadlocked twice on the charge. Penny faces trial for the death of Jordan Neely, who died following a chokehold incident on a New York City subway in May 2023. Penny's defense attorneys opposed the move and filed for a mistrial, arguing that the jury's inability to agree showed the case could not proceed. Judge Maxwell Wiley has yet to rule on the motions, and the court is set to reconvene after a break Friday afternoon. Before the recess, lead prosecutor Daphne Yoran suggested the prosecution might drop the manslaughter charge if the jury agreed to deliberate on the lesser charge of criminally negligent homicide. The jury, which first reported being deadlocked after 16 hours of deliberation earlier in the week, sent a second note 3 hours later indicating they remained at an impasse. Despite defense objections, Judge Wiley instructed the jury to continue deliberations. The defense renewed its motion for a mistrial following the jury's latest note. Case background and key arguments. Penny, a 26-year-old former Marine, faces charges of second-degree manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide in Neely's death. Jurors can only consider the latter charge if they find Penny not guilty of manslaughter. If convicted, Penny could face up to 15 years in prison on the manslaughter charge or up to 4 years for criminally negligent homicide, though the judge has the discretion to impose no prison time. The case centers on an incident on May 1, 2023, when Neely, a 30-year-old street performer experiencing homelessness and mental health challenges, entered a subway car and began behaving erratically. Witnesses testified that Neely yelled he was hungry, thirsty, and didn't care if he died. Penny restrained Neely in a chokehold for several minutes, during which Neely became unresponsive. Prosecutors argue that Penny acted recklessly by holding the chokehold too long, even after Neely ceased moving. In contrast, the defense contends Penny acted to protect other passengers from a perceived threat. Penny, in his statement to police, said, and quote, "I wasn't trying to injure him. I'm just trying to keep him from hurting anybody else," and quote. Evidence and testimony. Key evidence in the trial includes bystander video of the incident, Penny's statements to the NYPD, and testimony from witnesses and experts. Prosecutors presented over 30 witnesses, including a fellow passenger who helped restrain Neely. The passenger testified he told Penny to loosen the hold but later admitted to lying in initial interviews due to fear of legal repercussions. Medical testimony was central to the trial. The city medical examiner testified Neely died from neck compression caused by the chokehold, while the defense's expert argued that Neely's death was the result of multiple factors, including a sickling crisis, schizophrenia, and drug intoxication. Broader implications. The case has sparked debate across New York City, with some residents viewing Penny's actions as heroic, while others argue they reflect excessive force against a vulnerable individual. The incident has also reignited discussions on race, mental health, and public safety on the subway. Advocacy groups such as Black Lives Matter have highlighted Neely's death, while others have defended Penny's actions as necessary to protect passengers. Jury deliberations continue. The jury requested clarification on what constitutes a reasonable person in determining the necessity of Penny's use of force. Judge Wiley instructed jurors that the definition is ultimately for them to decide and reiterated legal standards for the use of physical force. As deliberations continue, Penny's defense has maintained its stance that the charges were driven by public pressure rather than evidence. Prosecutors argue that Penny's use of force exceeded reasonable limits, leading to Neely's unnecessary death. Separately, Neely's father filed a civil lawsuit against Penny this week, alleging negligence and wrongful death. The suit does not specify the damages sought. Penny's legal team has not commented on the suit.